going, chat? How y'all doing? I hope you having a good day and an even better day now that your boy's here. Cause listen up, chat. We are back in the zone. I'm on another level tonight. Cause look, bro, it's the last night I'm spending here. It is the last night we in this bitch. I'm changing the vibe. We're changing the zone. Shit is temporary. Some of this stuff is just, what we decorate with ourselves. What we do, how we do it, it's all temporary. So what I'm trying to get at, chat, is if you down bad, it's all good, it's temporary. If you're struggling right now and you like, what the fuck am I gonna do for rent next month? What the fuck am I gonna do? This bitch leaving me. It's all good because it's temporary, chat. Look, we're having a good time. I hope you having a good day and an even better day now that your boy's here. Because I'm moving tomorrow. That's it for the studio. This whole vibe gonna change a little bit. So I really think this is a good time. Good time to start with a clean slate. I feel like I like living in a place for a long time, but sometimes you can use a move or like, a new apartment, new city, new fucking state as like a clean slate. So you really gotta, clean up some things. Sometimes you gotta take things off that been, stuck. So you gotta slowly and surely just... And once in a while, you get something that's stuck like a motherfucker. It's up there, and you really have to pull it down. I'm talking philosophically, of course. I'm talking more like memories. If you got shit that's bothering you and you are in a new path in life, use that as a clean slate. If you like, I'm a different person. Yet, once in a while, you get thorns in your ass like these tacks. Because you hung up a memory too long. I don't know where I'm going with this philosophy. I'm just bullshitting. So hit the fucking like button. Hit the damn subscribe button because it's free. Hit the notifications if you really about that life. I know you are. Join the fucking army. I'm getting it going. Mr.Muncher.com for any comedy fucking needs. If you need a show in Dallas, I got you. Next week, we got a podcast going on a Sunday. Sunday the 16th, I'm trying to get on my boy's show. Look. I still got 2 fucking tests that Saturday. So if I'm stressed out on that Saturday, I might have to be angry on that Sunday. Because look, I got a fucking midterm tomorrow. Fucking living real life, bro. I was studying. That's why I got on so late. Because I haven't even fucking unpacked this bitch. I haven't even done nothing to get ready to move out. I literally have to get out in like 2 days. My lease literally ends Monday. I need to be out this bitch. I haven't packed shit. I've just been doing laundry and time to time fucking taking little things off. Because look, I wanted to do it for the fucking Instagram. I don't know where the other tax went. I could have taken out a little bit better. I was trying to get the clout, chat. Look, hold on. I was trying to get the clout on how I was going to take that off. But genuinely, I have to pack and get going. It's been... some time I've been here. I even shaved because I'm like, hey, look, we're in a different part in life right now. Sometimes you got to lock in and get to moving. Get to setting up the new year. And, look. When y'all see the new studio, it's going to be the peak. It's going to be peak content. It's going to be peak content, That's why I had to reset the beard. I was like, let's just go back to the old days. Bro, I even reached out to Quinlan's and I was like, bro, let me get back on. They said, come next week. Let's see what it is. Let's get right into these fucking grind mode. These streets. Let's get right into it, chat. Because look, I'm telling you, bro, I'm about to hit Quinlan's different now, bro. I have to write a little bit better. I have to move a little bit better. And I'm not going to lie to you, this time around, That's my stage. This time around, I'm the king on stage. Look, chat, I'm telling you, I'm having a good time now. From now on, things I wanna improve on. I gotta go after, especially in comedy, because for a long time I've been bullshitting on stage. Genuinely, I've been going for like the shock factor. But that doesn't make me funny. If I'm just a shock factor, hey, that gets boring after a little while. And like I tell you, this is the diary of an open mic comic. At the end of the day, this is the diary of an open mic comic, and I hope you fucking enjoy, because I like to yap. Once in a while, I need to yap. But I need to work on writing a little bit more material that's, you know, family friendly in a sense, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna give up anything on my, you know, true art form. You know, I love comedy the way I love comedy. There's nothing I want more than just doing stand-up all the time, every time, all day, every day. But there is a time and place for the type of stand-up I do. I love fucking shit that Ralph Barbosa does. I've been seeing that shit on Instagram. I've been seeing that shit on TikTok. He's from my city. You know, he runs Fort Worth. He's from like Fort Worth, DFW area. But like, hey, it's the bro. It's the bro. And then that gives me inspiration to lock in and do what I gotta do, bro. I gotta hit the gym next year. I gotta lock in on content next year. I gotta lock in on me. I was just kind of evaluating the way I've been chasing hoes time to time, right? Like the way that some motherfuckers chase hoes, I'm some motherfucker. But the way it kind of interrupts the other parts of life, it kind of is not good, bro. It is ADHD squared, bro. There's no reason for me to be this distracted by the hoes. And once in a while, bro, when days like this come, the fucking No Nut November comes, that's when I'm the most distracted with these hoes. So I gotta lock in next year on limiting the cum dumpsters. You know, just yapping, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have to get that tape off, though. I have a lot of fucking paintings up. I had to take them down. I just wanted to do it for the damn gram, bro. Because at the end of the day, chat, look, I literally have to move out of here by Monday, and I have yet to really do much on the packing side. And you know, this was a great stream to like kind of look back at in like a year from now. I've looked back at a lot of my streams that are, you know, from when I used to live where I used to live, you know? Some of the old streams that I had from 2 years, oh damn, that's gonna leave a mark, 2 years ago. And it's a good little documentary. In my opinion, bro, those are really for me. It's like a little like diary, bro. I love the fact that I can watch, I can watch them years later and be like, damn, that was me, you know? That's crazy. And I think at the end of the day, people underestimate how important old videos, old things that, you know, you can look back on like, oh shit, you know, that's from when I was in high school. Oh, that's from when I was like playing football or whatever, you know? The whole highlight reels, the old school, like, videos there that your parents save for you, you know? Those are like so memorable to have once in a while. So, here we are. Friday night, November 7th, 2025. Look, bruh. It's just speeding up. The end of the year is speeding up. I wanna go to New York next year. Or this year, actually. I low-key wanna go to New York this year, bro. I don't know how much I'm gonna vlog it, because sometimes, bro, you need to get that fucking, how would you say, you need to build lore. You sometimes need to build lore. Once in a while, bro, you have to build lore. And that's why, bro, sometimes I live stream some of the times I travel. Especially if it's the second time I'm going to that city, I'm definitely, you know, live streaming it. But if I'm not live streaming it, I'll, you know, make it a novel thing. You know, on Instagram, I'll post it, Poppy_Mosa for any aura. I typically will, you know, make it a event. You know, whenever I'm traveling, bro, it's like a human experience, right? At the end of the day, I love stand-up the way I love stand-up, bro. And sometimes I can make an experience where I'm, live streaming the whole thing. I'm like, hey, let me explore San Diego. That stream was fun as hell. But even though my internet kept going down, it was a good way for me to like genuinely look back at it a year from now and be like, oh shit, that's what I did. That was really fun. Even though it was nerve-wracking, because when I was at the restaurant, bro, when I was eating food, it felt so corny, bro. It was my first stream, like, low-key out in public, and it felt just so corny. Because people are watching you fucking live stream, and bro, I know she was trying to, like, the waiter was like, this guy gotta be crazy. There's no way. He's just homeless with a camera. For me, bro, I feel like I'm trying to, like, express the human experience on live streaming, because that's what comedy is really about, expressing the human experience. You're expressing the way you're living life, your own perspective. That's why it just seems like somebody's talking. I inspire people to get on stage sometime, bro. Like I'm trying to suck my own pings, but I'm just saying, like, there are some times where I'm bombing so bad, I inspire somebody to get on stage. They're like, this dude can talk on stage and he's dog shit. I can definitely do it, so I've inspired enough people after I do stand up to be like, I can do that, so I feel like, there's some fun in that. There's some greatness in that, and rage baiting people. There's some greatness in that too. So whenever I'm live streaming, whenever I'm talking to the camera or doing whatever on camera, it just feels like I'm genuinely living a human experience, and I'm talking to somebody on chat. Like, once in a while you get like 2 people texting in chat, or you make some friends. I made some friends on Kick, I made some friends on Twitch. So it's kind of interesting, who may be watching and who may be like, hey, I like the way he's fucking speaking, And that's the same thing as doing stand-up. Sometimes whenever you go do a mic with like 2-3 people, it just is lame as hell because the other person is not feeling you. But once in a while, you might get a mic where it's just one person in the fucking audience, and you get to talk one-on-one, and you'd be like, at this point, this is just a friendship, bro. We both lonely. It's fucking midnight. We're doing nothing with our lives. I miss comedy time to time, but recently, bro, I feel like it's been so busy in my life, I've been kind of avoiding it. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I might have to lock in. I always use the word lock in, but I might have to like get it together and get to a comedy show, bro, because it is a good way to like keep living on, I feel like people too much even me, bro, even me most of the time, I focus so much on, I need to get better, I need to do this, I need to achieve this, I need to do that. Like, everybody does, right? You don't want to fucking, wait and smell the flowers. Sometimes it's hard to smell the flowers. So, once in a while, you really have to just chill, And I feel like I was saying earlier in the stream, if I'm just hanging out on stream, if I'm just doing stand-up, that's just me living life at my age, 26, I'll be this age once, this age where I can, be fucking around and obviously still feel guilty about it, but not be so hell-bent about responsibilities. Because, bro, when you're 30, when you got kids, when you got a family, then you, like, cannot fuck around, bro. But at this age, I feel like the new age, the new social media, the new whatever, interwebs, it's always like on the grind shit. I always talk about this for the last like couple of streams. I'm like, bro, how the fuck are we supposed to grind all our lives, bro? What are you gonna do? Grind till the way days like you realize it's slavery, till the grind you realize it's slavery, I don't want to work 7 days a week. The fuck? But I do like doing stand-up 7 days a week. So I guess it may be just the way you find your new chapter, the way you find your new turn of events, your new plot twist. And that's why I kind of named this stream the way I did, is because I'm like, bro, what is your plot twist at this point in life? Where are you in life where you're like, what do I want, What do I want to do? Is this too deep? Am I just fucking stupid as hell? I don't know. I even got a fancy little glass because I was like, I gotta do dishes, and I honestly have to pack all those dishes, so I did not want to fucking do nothing else. So I got a fancy old glass, so I could talk real philosophical today, chat. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of podcasts, Joey Diaz to be specifically, and he talks about how much fun he had in his younger days, even though he's old now and he's, sometimes like, hey, I wish I did a little bit better, but he's like, I got no regrets. And that's what I like sometimes, that no regret type of vibe, that, hey, at least I did what I wanted to do. I lived my life that I wanted to live. I lived the life the way I wanted to live it. Obviously, don't always fucking do crazy shit. Joey Diaz on another level. I'm not saying be Joey Diaz. What I am saying is that you have to just sometimes have fun. I feel like the world has forgot how to have fun. When did everything get so serious? Why so serious, right? That's why I feel like I love the Joker so much, is like, why so serious? And the thing is, man, like, I feel like as you get older, everybody starts pushing their own insecurities onto you. As you get older, you realize that your parents are just people too. And they got their own regrets, and they don't want you to have those same regrets. So they push their own insecurities onto you, and they want you to succeed. There's nothing malleable about them pushing you the way they are. But as you get older, you realize, holy fuck, maybe that's not the person I want to be. So once in a while, you gotta have yourself a new chapter, because this is your book. Get you a cold one, because we getting a little philosophical. A little philosophical tonight. And as I get older, man, my frontal lobe is developing inch by inch. My chromosomes are forming inch by inch, maybe millimeter by millimeter. My chromosomes are getting there. But I do realize, man, we're just all people. We're all having a human experience. And that's why I love streaming, because I'm like, bro, I could just look at this like a year from now and not be like, where the fuck was I? It's like, it's here. It's fun to fuck around on stream, because, bro, whenever I go do shows, like real life, like in fucking bar shows, like, nah, clubs are like, it's your fan. In clubs, it's like your own fans, right? But if you do it at a bar, nobody gives a fuck about you. So whenever you start talking heart to heart, you start realizing, oh shit, we're all same people. We're low-key all going through the same fucking experience. None of us are that far apart. So when we start fighting and really start, I got fucking cologne on, and I'm about to sneeze again. I hate that fact that I get allergic to my own cologne. But in general, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that as you get older, bro, things change. But if you don't know who you are or who you want to be, it's hard to just enjoy things for as they are. So when you move, I'm about to fucking, enjoy this move, because it's a new year, a new me, right? Like everybody says that bullshit. All the hoes say, new year, new me. I don't got a body count, I sound like I'm for the streets right now, because new year, new place, new slate. Like, you can do things that set you up for the better in the future, because it's hard to see the future when you're in the now and you're struggling to pay rent now. You're struggling to fucking fill your gas now. Struggling to fucking not fuck a bitch now. Struggling to get hoes now. When you're struggling in the moment, it's hard to look for the future, but sometimes we have to understand that, hey, look, at the end of the day, it might not be now that I'm succeeding, but in the future, I could be. So some things can be temporary. This pain can be temporary. I'm not really trying to be too motivational, because I have no idea where the motivation can go, because I have no idea what type of motivation I can give genuinely. But what I do know at the end of the day is, we're all having a human experience. Nobody really should be telling you how to live on your own. It's fucking 2025, bro. Let's just all keep on keeping on and go ahead and enjoy our life the way we want to enjoy it. Because if somebody else is telling you how to enjoy your life, well, fuckity fuck. You a cuckity cuck. And, you know, once in a while, somebody likes it. If you don't like your girl, leave her. If you're a bitch irritating you, talk to her. But if she not listening, leave her. Listen, I might be speaking from personal experience. I can be a little bougie with these hoes, you know? Be a little too sassy with these hoes. I'm playing chat. Hold on. But 2026 is coming. How much are you willing to handle next year? How much bullshit are you trying to put up with next year is the real question. Because I feel like I don't want to put up with that much bullshit. I learned a lot this year. Whether it be friends, relationships, or family, you realize your worth and you realize the bullshit you want to put up with this year. Hey, I am clean shaving. It got me acting different, chat. Look, it got me acting different. I'm James Bond. Look, the one thing I want to focus on most of all, is discipline and organization. That's the one thing I want to fucking focus on in 2026 is this discipline. Like whether it be with fucking drinking, whether it be from partying, whether it be from fucking working out, discipline is the one main thing I want to focus on all next year, and restraint. This No Nut November has been a hard struggle, bruh. No Nut November is a bitch and a half, bro. I'm telling you, there's so much fucking... There's so much fucking corn out there. Like, you might as well be a farmer. There's so much corn out there. You might as well be a farmer, bro. And I've struggled. I'm not gonna lie. I struggled this fucking past week. And like I always say, if you fall once, which your boy already has, if you fall to the fucking goon, it's okay. Keep your head up, King. Keep pushing forward. We all struggling. And genuinely, I feel like there are some times that you need a squad to help you with this goon sesh. These goons out there should not be gooning alone. Wait, hold on. Pause. That came off Diddy. Hold on. What I mean by that is like, hey, maybe you join a group that y'all, you know, talk about not gooning all the time. Because I should probably. I've been gooning too long, bro. This goon behavior needs to go, bro. I feel like, especially being on Instagram, bro, whenever you're on Instagram, you see one thick thought or one petite little Asian, you're like, oh my God, maybe I should go. Like, it's just, bro, it catches you lacking, bro. Asian persuasion for me. Whenever I'm on Instagram, bro, like in the last week, I feel like bitches are trying to get me hard. Whenever I'm on Instagram, bro, it seems like Instagram wants you to be hard. It wants you to use like Instagram as like a pre-cum moment. Pause. It's really annoying, bro, because I honestly did not want to fall. But hey, I was a week in. It happens. Everybody goons once in a while. But I feel like we got to give ourselves one goon a week. If you a chronic gooner, you got to give yourself one goon a week. So, you know, I'm working towards it. This is the AA meeting for gooners, you know? Hey, that's just me though, chat. But look, it's because I haven't had a hobby in the last couple of days to weeks because I haven't really been doing stand-up as much as I used to because, bro, it's a far drive, first of all, and getting on stage right now is not for me. I feel like I'm kind of annoyed with my material. I'm not writing enough. Genuinely, I'm not writing enough to do enough stand-up. I'm having writer's block, as they say, because I've been on gooner's block. I've been gooning so much that my fucking whole fucking focus was on gooning. That's why I turned to No Nut November as a reset in the goon behavior, you know? But it does take a while. It is fucking low key an addiction. Gooning is the ultimate addiction. If we really think about it, gooning is the ultimate addiction. So this month I'm trying to get, focus on that dopamine rehab, That's why I'm saying next year, if I got that discipline on lockdown, I don't know where I'm gonna be. And that's what I tell anybody, bro. If you on that dopamine lockdown, you on that organized dopamine, get this behavior on lock. Let's go ahead and set a schedule. Let's go ahead and do the things we want to do, When you get on that dopamine organization, no goon behavior, bro. No 5 beats a day keeps the doctor away. All right, that's a problem. But I'm just saying, I feel like everybody has to find a purpose. Everybody has to find something they want to do. And I love that about comedy. It gives me something to do every night of the week. Stand-up has really changed big majority parts of my life just because I can be at a show any time of the week that I want to be and relieve the stress. If I'm angry, if I'm whatever, I can go on stage and yap it out, make it funny somehow. Or bowling, because I feel like sometimes, your other hobby might be, bothering you and you gotta, organize it yourself. So, I don't know. I feel like people need 2 hobbies. One hobby that is like a side business kind of thing, and then one hobby that's just like, bro, just have fun, bro. There's no focus to it, whether it be like tennis. Some people love tennis. Pickleball has been like a lot of new intellectual people's thing. Chess, I don't know why people love chess. I don't know. It's too much thinking, bro. My brain is not that big. I'm sorry. My brain does not work like that. So chess is not for me, but some people use that as one of the hobbies, and then another hobby to work out or something. I feel like people need to focus on finding themselves. As hippie as that sounds, I feel like the next couple of years is going to be the hippie movement. Yeah, the next couple of years, hippies are going to be in the next, up and coming streamers or whatever. Because, bro, there's so many people that are getting whooped by life, right? There's billionaires that have $100 million yachts, $150 billion fucking bank accounts. And there are people that can't even make electricity for $150. There's people that can't even pay their day-to-day. Right? And some of these online personalities, they used to be in that level, and then all of a sudden they got money, and now they're like, hey, fuck it, brokey. Comedians, they're the same way, Two Bears, One Cave podcast, like the Bert Kreischer and what's that other guy's name? The other comedian. They kind of stopped doing it because they started getting money, and they were roasting their, audience for being, broke. I'm like, bro, y'all used to be broke too. Like I feel like some people get so big they end up, kind of talking themselves out of the struggle. And I feel like that's what streamers used to be. They used to be like the local struggle artists, They were like the people that were like right there. They're enjoying doing what they want to do, but they're like right there, Nowadays you see them explode to such celebrity status, these streamers, that they're like, hey, brokey, and they're making like hundreds of millions of dollars. Of course, most people cannot relate to them, And I don't know. But I feel like there's one thing that everybody has in common is the dead internet theory. I always talk about the dead internet theory. This is by the boy Redline. Dead internet theory. Wait. Dead internet theory.
The ever-increasing presence of artificial intelligence in our everyday lives has given rise to an online conspiracy. With every passing moment, more of the internet becomes artificial. The content you watch isn't real. The comments you read
bots everywhere
aren't real. The people you talk to aren't real. Nothing you see is real. This
live in the Matrix.
Is the dead internet theory. 2025. Everything and everyone you see online is fake. Before we get into this properly, let me first off say that this is a rapidly changing subject. Anything I say in this could be outdated in like a week, or already is outdated. You're gonna have to take this as a period piece of,
It's philosophy. An hour, holy shit, it's an hour? Okay, fuck it. Hey, let's see how far we get. If I get bored, chat, if I get bored,
when I wrote it. This also isn't a call to action or anything.
Because, bro, I've been talking about the dead internet theory for a while, bro, and I feel like people need to understand where I'm coming from. Genuinely, it is very important that we see what the dead internet theory genuinely is. Because, bro, this is a good way for the fucking mass media to manipulate you. That's why nobody wants to share their data of how many people watching them and whatever. Because it's a million people. You can't even comprehend a million people in a room, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's hard for people to comprehend how many people that really is. So some people, you know, get 10,000 views, but they making millions a year. You know, it's like, you know,
just screaming into the void. Now, I'm in the generation that doesn't know a world without the internet, but I'm also old enough to have seen it grow exponentially into the titan that it's become. And in recent years, if there's one thing that's had my attention the most, it's the rise of the dead internet. Let's talk about it. Just as a heads up, I won't be spending a ton of time on the actual theory. This video is mainly about interesting things I found which are examples of it, rather than just reading off the Wikipedia page. Now, there's quite a few interpretations of the theory. To mash them all together in as basic of a form as I can, the dead internet theory argues that most of the content you see online, comments, posts, people, even likes and dislikes, is almost entirely created by or manipulated by bots. Other interpretations are similar, but don't go to the absolute extreme of everyone is a bot. Nothing is real. But for the purposes of this video,
I mean, some of the comments that you see in the comment section, bro, it is bot behavior. It is genuinely like the way they talk is like, oh, very well, nice video. Like, it's bot.
Sticking with any one interpretation of the theory, I'm going to be pretty flexible.
I'm not gonna lie.
Some of the theories also give different proposed groups behind these bots, such as the government, big tech, the shadow government. You get the drill. Normal conspiracy stuff. And yes, this is a conspiracy theory. Take everything here entirely with a grain of salt. At the same time, have an open mind and come to your own conclusions. It is pretty epic and cool to assume every single comment you read online is a bot. While the dead internet theory label was coined only a few years ago, in 2021, the general ideas behind it
no, they've been talking about it for years, though.
The signs of an impending bot doomsday have been around for quite some time. With the main aspects of the theory out of the way, let me be clear that this video isn't really about diving down some conspiracy rabbit hole about the Illuminati secretly gaslighting and controlling the world's population by selectively choosing which TikTok videos blow up. No. I'm interested in the real and currently observable instances of the dead internet part of the theory, happening in everyday places online. There's really no better place to start than with a little site which you might be familiar with. YouTube.
Ooh, I'm in the Matrix.
Back when these old bones were youthful little boy bones in the distant year of 2009, I found a site called YouTube. I might have used it a little bit earlier than that, but what really matters is that I've seen it grow and evolve into what it is today. And I'm no tourist. YouTube has been my main entertainment platform for about as long as I can remember, which is probably quite sad and cringe, but it's true. Things on the site have generally been fine. You know, there's the occasional big controversy, an adpocalypse here and there, but nothing too crazy. In recent years, though, more and more synthetic content has been uploaded to YouTube,
the AI slop
which you
that they
have likely seen or at least heard about. Thankfully, YouTube has implemented some rules and guidelines which aim to disincentivize it, but this stuff is still being shat out at a rapid pace. I'll be completely honest here, this flood of content is one of the worst things to happen to the site in quite some time. And if YouTube doesn't keep setting strict guidelines on AI videos, it's only going to get worse. And just as a note, I'm not entirely against AI. It's a tool, it has uses, you're allowed to use it however you want. But when it's used to create almost every aspect of a video, that's where we start having some problems. The U in YouTube is completely absent from any of these AI videos. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about here. The absolute rabbit hole that is YouTube's AI video problem. Almost everything you'll see here was entirely created with AI. Visuals, scripts, voiceover, music, the whole shebang. HFY channels. This is where I first fell into the rabbit hole. Back in late 2024, I saw one of these in my recommendations, which jump-started.
What does that stand for, though?
This is where it all began. And just so we're clear here, this is purely for educational purposes, okay? This is purely education. This human has an alien girl harem all to himself.
My God.
All pregnant. Me and the fellas were absolutely taken aback by what an insane title that was, and looked into the channel, which had hundreds of videos just like that. Let's not get too far ahead of things here. First off, what even are HFY channels? Well, for the most part, these are sci-fi storytelling channels, which go back quite a ways. They're usually stories about human ingenuity, space exploration, that kind of stuff. There's a good amount of legit channels reading these stories, so if you go looking, don't assume that every single one of them is AI. With that said, a lot of them are AI. HFY stands for humanity, fuck yeah, and an instant tell, or if one of these is being run by a bot, is when they describe it as something like HFY, humanity, heck yeah, or humans are special, HFY, which is clearly the bots not being able to say naughty words. The second tell, which also goes for pretty much everything we're going to look at after this, is that they don't even try to hide that it is very obviously entirely AI generated. I was initially just going to look at the all pregnant channel, but after doing some digging, I just kept on finding more. It was non-stop. Every time I thought I found the last of them, 5 more popped up.
I was trying to make some fucking noodles, but I'm out of a literal bowl.
Thousands of videos, tens of thousands of subscribers, and pretty much all of them were making the exact same type of video. A generic AI narrator voice reading out a 30 to 50 minute long story, each one having an AI generated image to accompany it, sometimes with slight movement on the image. That's it. That's the formula for every single one of these. Look at this little baby. Alien girl got stung by an alien bee. Now her booty's swelling up.
What the fuck are these?
Hour and 5 minutes. The Chad.
Are these getting views though?
The soy alien.
Are these getting views is the real question.
While I was looking at these channels, I started doing a new research strategy, which I will be patenting, called a pregnant check, where I Control F the word pregnant after loading all their videos. The amount of alien girl impregnation videos would shock you. I honestly lost count. And that's not even mentioning the amount of videos which followed the formula, lonely human saves alien princess. He is rewarded in a very pleasant way. I'm not exaggerating when I say that there are probably hundreds of videos following that exact formula, uploaded every day by these channels. There were also a lot of instances of 2 individual channels having duplicate videos, but with a different image. I know I saw stories about an alien girl drinking gasoline on a couple channels. Another duplicate I saw was 2 videos called, Human, I insist you inspect my body. One of the weirdest parts about these videos is that I feel like they aren't even as good as they should be. AI can fully replicate people's voices now, but all of these channels have the most monotone, lifeless, boring narrators. Some of them even say dot when there's a period.
The words slammed into him like a bullet. Pregnant. His mouth open. But no word.
I found one about how a human boy let out a gassy fart during class and traumatized his entire
I'm not gonna lie, I'm
school.
getting bored
That
at
was
the
an
fact
iconic
that
video.
he's
That one
talking
gets
so
a pass.
slow.
This is a 30-minute long story about a child farting. As one final thing of note, it looks like a lot...
Okay, hold on a second. We're not watching that anymore. I'm fucking... The sad downfall of 88 Rising.
In the late 2010s...
I got bored of how slow he was talking.
88rising was a record label that popped onto the scene with stars like Joji and Rich Brian. They saw tons of success with huge festivals, collaborations with mainstream artists, and even getting to do soundtracks for whole Marvel movies. It felt like they were really putting on for the Asian and Asian American communities, giving them a spotlight in genres they didn't typically have one. But as of late, it feels like 88rising is nowhere to be found, and that mostly can be chalked up to a few controversies and disputes between the label and its artists. 88rising was founded back in 2015 by producer Sean Miyashiro and entrepreneur Jason Ma. I hope I pronounced those right, but if I was wrong, you can flame me, that's fine. While most people just think that 88rising is a label, Sean describes it as more of a hybrid management, record label, video production, and marketing company, basically covering all the bases you need to be successful in the music industry. And that's been their goal from the start. Their goal has been to especially provide a platform for Asian and Asian American artists to grow and excel.
I need to make this for the Pakistani boys, you know, the Indian boys, you know, the brown boys, the Desi boys.
Careers. When 88rising first got started, they operated more as just a music collective and management company under the name Cash Only. To find new up-and-coming artists, they turned to the internet. This is where Cash Only found their first official artists, including Brian Puspos, Dumbfounded, Josh Pan, and more. Sean described the collective's goal, saying he was trying to represent for not only Asian immigrants, but for all immigrants. A few months later, Dumbfounded showed Sean the music video of Keith Ape's single Itji Ma, and after watching it, Sean decided to sign Keith and connected him with Dumbfounded on a remix of Itji Ma, also featuring ASAP Ferg, Father, and Waka Flocka Flame. The remix's music video debuted on Complex and marked a significant milestone for the collective. And Keith Ape was one of my favorite artists from this label. Even after his collabs with artists like X and Ski, I feel like his music was pretty fire. He had like that underground sound and he was dope. At this point, Sean was still living in student housing with his wife and taking meetings out of his car. In an interview, he said, I was about to say it was fire. It wasn't fire. It was what it was. We didn't know what the f it was going to be. Early in 2016, Brian Emanuel, under the name Rich, dropped a video for his song Dat Stick, which went pretty viral for a few reasons. The video featured Brian in a pink polo and a Reebok fanny pack with others in his group toting handguns.
I remember this, bro. This shit was a hard music video, bro. An Asian guy fucking going crazy, bro. It's the first hood Asian guy I've ever seen.
Undeniably catchy, but Brian not only references killing cops, he also drops the N-word, which he later apologized for and also changed his rap name to Rich Brian. I think though that kind of helped the song blow up because of the juxtaposition of him wearing like the pink polo and then saying things like that. And the song itself was okay. However, aside from the controversial aspects, Brian, who grew up in Jakarta learning English on YouTube, blew up from the track. One of the people who noticed was Sean, who also followed Brian on Vine and offered to fly him out to South by Southwest to perform. At this point,
fucking OGs made it on Vine, bro. I gotta be one of the OGs, bro. Vine was so over fucking powered, bro. Back in the day, whoever was been on Vine and they fucking made it out of Vine, look, if you still kept creating, you become an OG at some point.
Brian was only 16, so he had to ask his mom, and she actually agreed, but he was unable to get a visa in time and couldn't make it. So at the next South by Southwest in 2016, Sean set up a Chinese decor-inspired booth where he filmed content with up-and-coming rappers. This is where the company posted their first content on YouTube under the name 88rising, asking artists about their favorite anime characters, their impressions of Asia, and their reactions to a series of videos by Asian rappers, including Brian's. The first clip they posted was of Designer performing Panda in front of the shrine, which was later captioned with Chinese subtitles, and it got decent views. Around this time though, Sean's new venture, which was Brian, was still facing a bunch of backlash, thanks to his hit song Dat Stick. However, Sean believed that Brian was just a kid from the other side of the world who didn't know any better, so he signed him anyways. After Dat Stick, Brian expressed wanting to release his next track called Hold My Strap, but Sean was worried that Brian would box himself in with this one-dimensional subject matter about make-believe gunplay, which would just make him a meme. So instead, Sean put together a video which reached over 20 million views called Rappers React to Rich Brian to address the controversy.
Rich Chigga.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yo, this nigga got a pouch on and a Reebok pouch.
Nah, this is my guy right here. It's Rich Chigga.
You even found a way to say nigga without saying it.
While people on Twitter argued about whether Dat Stick appropriated black culture, the reaction video posted—
Bro, this whole fucking fake racist bullshit, it's not racist. God damn it, you pussy motherfucker.
Complicated question. what if other rappers like Dat Stick, rappers like Michi Darko, Cameron, and even Ghostface all complimented the track, with Ghostface offering to do a remix. Clearly, some big names in rap liked the track's sound, which helped establish Brian as an actual artist, and it also sort of combated against that one-hit wonder meme sort of status. After Dat Stick, Rich Brian went on a solid run, releasing multiple projects including Amen and The Sailor, which both had a pretty solid reception. He also reached a level where he could get bigger features as well, like 21 Savage. Especially considering where his music career started, I'd say that headlining multiple tours and performing at some of the biggest festivals like Rolling Loud, for example, is a win. However, Brian is far from 88 Rising's only internet name turned star, because in late 2017, Joji signed to the label.
Bro, that's the GOAT. The OG YouTube GOAT, bro. Fucking from Filthy Frank to Joji, bro. That's goals, bro. I'm trying to be like that.
Who was previously known by many as Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank already had internet success for things like his crazy skits and Harlem Shake memes, so him doing all of that and then the type of music he went on to put out was pretty surprising. However, to most people who weren't already aware of Joji because of Filthy Frank, to them he popped up on a lot of radars after his viral interview with Hot Ones.
And today I'm joined by Joji. He's the meme lord behind YouTube cult heroes Filthy Frank and Pink Guy. His second full-length project, Pink Season, soared to the top of the iTunes charts earlier this year, and good news, there's more new music on the way. Joji, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. I've always wanted to be on this. Whoa. Whoa.
I love hot wings. I wanna try that shit. I wanna know how good that shit is.
Years of going through the motions in the content game led to him being turned off by the increasingly toxic internet sphere. And while his novelty rap albums with Pink Guy were fun, Joji feared that they would be the closest he'd come to committing to a music career. Joji said, "Sean pulled me out of that slump." He claims that at first he was contacted by 88 Rising to aid in the creation of viral videos, but once Sean heard his demos, he immediately pivoted to focusing on exploring Joji's career as a musician instead. Soon after, Joji worked to create his debut EP, In Tongues, and alongside the support of Sean, released it. In a similar fashion to Brian, but even more successful, as Joji, he went on an insane run with his following projects and tours. To make things simple, his RIAA certifications include 1 platinum album, 2 gold albums, 1 5x platinum song, 2 2x platinum songs, 4 1x platinum songs, and 7 gold songs, including his hits like Slow Dancing in the Dark, Yeah Right, and Glimpse of Us. These numbers obviously speak for themselves. Despite the brevity of Joji's career, he crushed it for himself in 88 Rising. And while it's not over yet, we'll get to that soon. By the end of 2017, a group of 88 Rising artists, including Rich Brian, Joji, Keith Ape, and the Higher Brothers, were at the end of the tour that had sold out quickly. And in the following years, Sean had big plans, having already sold out concerts in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. It seemed like the sky was the limit. They had also signed the artist Nicki, who would go on to be super successful with songs like Every Summertime, which landed itself in the Marvel movie Shang-Chi. I'm actually just finding out that Sean and 88 Rising executive produced that entire movie's soundtrack, which is crazy. And what's even crazier is that apparently Nicki is the most streamed Indonesian artist, which is insane. Between plans of developing a TV series, collective albums, bigger tours, and even festivals of their own, 88 Rising continued their massive run. At their peak, 88 Rising did so well with its brand identity, separating itself from any other record label or news outlet. As Sean puts it, they take ownership. No one's going to walk around and get a Complex tattoo or a Vice tattoo. People are getting 88 Rising tattoos on their body, bro.
That's crazy.
That's how we're different. Aside from their huge stars like Joji and Rich Brian, everyone on the label was popping off, collaborating with mainstream artists.
But this just shows a clear example of what 88 was trying to do.
Yeah, for like a while, bro, before COVID, I feel like I saw this shit everywhere, bro. I saw so many of their fucking videos on YouTube.
Then you had a Ski Mask and XXX, Tentacion.
I haven't seen them in so long.
Lil Yachty doing the Big Bang karaoke, Migos and Cardi reacting to Higher Brothers, Lil Pump and the Pink Guy party. This kind of felt like the golden years of 88 Rising since it actually worked. The most famous rappers at that time were being part of 88 Rising, but also it felt like maybe 88 wasn't included with the most famous rappers.
At this point, it seemed like 88 Rising just could not fail. 88 Rising had also started the Head in the Clouds Festival, which was an annual festival that had artists from the label, as well as others like Anderson .Paak. They had become a beacon for the Asian community in pop culture and music. Sean's assistant, Cynthia Guo, spoke on how important 88 Rising's ideals were to her, saying, "I think Growing up, I was always made to feel that Asian culture wasn't cool. There was no one brand I could pinpoint as this really cool Asian thing until 88 Rising. And the earlier mentioned investor who's from Hong Kong later shared similar joy, mentioning how whenever he finds himself in an Uber in the US, he enjoys playing the driver's songs by 88 Rising's artists. He said, "They flip out. It's just so fun for me as an Asian to see an Asian voice being celebrated." But things wouldn't last like this forever. In the months and years following, 88 Rising began experimenting with not only content outside of music, but also creators outside of Asian culture, like their first non-Asian artist, August 08. They also started leaning heavier into collabs with K-pop artists and other international groups, which again was a bit different from their original vision. With these random changes here and there came a couple of critiques. A lot of these critiques actually came from the Asian community itself. Some issues were due to complex geopolitics of entering the Asian market, and another negative sentiment partially dated back to some of 88 Rising's earliest investors, one of which said he was initially skeptical of the company's idea because of its narrow focus on Asian and Asian American culture. The investor continued saying, "I think the goal with assimilation, or trying to fit into the dominant culture, is you don't try to marginalize yourself." And well, he eventually had his mind changed because of the success of acts like Keith Ape and Rich Brian, but he wasn't alone in his worries. Sean said, "Asian Americans my age are typically scared, and when something starts to penetrate, like we are for whatever reason, the Asian Americans are the most skeptical." He also detailed that some of the fear came from worries of negative representations being brought to a broader audience. He said, "They're like fearful of making sure that we don't offend anyone, making sure that we're staying safe, making sure we don't appropriate anything." But that was only one of the issues and sides of opinion, as others in the Asian community felt almost the opposite. So as 88 Rising began branching out into K-pop or signing non-Asian artists, they kind of started leaving some of their original ideals behind. The original ideals that were focused on providing media platforms to combat the relative scarcity of Asian Americans in popular culture. And
bro,
while
Nav
obviously
should do that
88
for the brown dudes, bro. But there's a whole new brown wave of comedians and a brown wave of fucking content creators now. I feel like Lily Singh was low-key the first one, I'm not gonna lie.
Supporters aren't only from the Asian community, it is a foundation from which it was built on. A fan on Reddit felt as if 88 Rising sold out by saying, 88 has been dead. They never followed up with a Head in the Clouds 3 album, and since then, their creativity halted or just completely vanished. These albums showed how cohesive the label was, but now it's just a festival sellout. They continued on how the label was changing when they said, "I somewhat agree that it's cool to see 88 feature Asian indie artists, but it came to the expense of neglecting their previously signed artists like Higher Brothers, August 08, Keith Ape, and Dumbfounded. If you were a fan in the beginning, you would see that their YouTube content featured lots of expression that highlighted many of these signed artists. Nowadays, you rarely ever see, if any, content." An example is like what happened with the Joji situation, where he has at this point gone almost completely silent on social media, with some fans theorizing that he chose to leave music because of complications with his label 88 Rising. One of their other biggest artists, Rich Brian, took a 6-year break from releasing music as well, only recently dropping his 3rd album titled Where's My Head. So clearly it isn't too good for the label when 2 of their biggest artists are taking these massive breaks. A Reddit user said, "They're spread too thin now with too many artists in my opinion, and the Joji, Brian, Nicki trio that built the brand isn't nearly as prominent anymore. Joji's completely off social media, Brian hasn't made anything notable post The Sailor, and Nicki's the only one that's still alive. At this point, I see it as a collection of artists rather than a single unified brand, which is really sad because I really do miss that 2018 Head in the Clouds summer." In 2021, 88 Rising also had some pretty tough hits at a considerably fragile point in their history. The biggest one that you might remember is the Yellow Square incident. After a shooting that took place in Atlanta where 6 of the 8 victims were Asian women, an outpouring of support came from Asian communities across the country. One of these being 88 Rising. This was during the Stop Asian Hate movement. And one of the ways that 88 Rising showed their support in ending violence against Asian Americans was by posting a yellow square. This came along with a caption condemning and calling out the violence. But the upload backfired, as I'm sure you can imagine, when some viewers compared it to the post from the BLM movement's Blackout Tuesday, where black squares were posted online by many in support of ending racial injustice and inequality. One user wrote on Twitter, "Not 88 Rising co-opting something which the folks at the center of the original movement, black people, explicitly said wasn't helpful." Another said, When I saw people tweeting about big accounts posting yellow squares, I thought they had to be joking, and yet 88 Rising actually did it. After all the backlash, 88 Rising amended the post, acknowledging the reaction online, and later ended up deleting it entirely. They also uploaded a separate apology as well for the whole media meltdown that occurred. And obviously this wasn't the sole reason 88 Rising kind of fell off the mainstream. That was just like a small part of it. It did come at a time when the label didn't
I feel
really
like, bro, some artists might just drop everything they have. Like they're like, hey, this is the most I've lived for till right now, and it's over, you know?
Extra criticism. On top of this, if we fast forward to today, Joji recently released a single on a new label confirming that he left 88, which fans had been theorizing he had been trying to get out of their deal for a while. So without their biggest artist, they are definitely much worse off. And remember all the appropriation talk that I mentioned earlier? Well, that ended up being a problem too. See, 88 Rising started signing and working with more K-pop artists eventually. Fans said things like, the error was that they thought that if they collab with K-pop artists, the K-pop Western fans will eventually start listening to their music, when in reality those fans are a completely different audience. And this transition left people feeling a little weird, with one fan saying, I specifically remember an 88 Rising interview where Sean was like, we're not exploiting rap, this is our craft. Fast forward to today, seeing how they basically pivoted to K-pop/international collabs really just tells me that rap/black culture was really just a stepping stone for them, which is hella suspect. And I think the transition to K-pop was really one of the biggest mistakes they made, with one of the top comments on Jimmy's video being, straight facts. Instead of sticking with their OG group, they introduced all these K-pop artists who all kind of sound the same. Miss the old
They expanded too fast, bro. That's all
Overall,
it was.
88 Rising shifted their primary audience from Asian Americans who like rap artists to those that just like K-pop, Jackson Wang, Chris Wu, Zed. And there's nothing wrong with this, but it's just like we thought you were gonna put Asians on the map. But for now, I guess we just have Eric Raprid. Yeah, fuck it, I'll take that. I don't even care at this.
Now, while the label still exists putting out music, hosting festivals, and providing platforms for the Asian community, things are just a bit different now than what people imagined they would look like. And who knows, with Brian putting out an album recently, and a bunch of other artists of different sizes still releasing music, it's definitely too early to close the door on 88 Rising forever. But for now, it sadly appears they may not reach the widespread mainstream dominance that many had once hoped they would. Although, to 88 Rising's co-founder Sean, this whole concept might look a little different. When asked about how he would know that 88 Rising succeeded, he said, I never have to be filthy rich. That's not why we're doing this shit. It's more about how do we contain this purity of the brand? I'd rather die than not continue this. I feel like I'm high all the time, even though I'm sober. So the future of 88 Rising is a shaky one, and only time will tell what will happen. If you like
high on life, well,
you might like my video about YouTubers with successful music careers where I talk about Joji and others.
Fuck it.
Than that,
fuck it. Let's see.
About a month ago, I covered.
He got me on that last video. Fuck it. Let's see. Let's see.
YouTubers with failed music careers. So today I decided to talk about some YouTubers who turned into some legitimately successful musicians. As a YouTuber, it can be difficult to lose the somewhat corny image and give yourself a real artist image. So we're going to be looking at how the artists in this video managed to make themselves successful rather than failing like many of their peers. So I've gathered 5 YouTubers that I think succeeded in doing that, and I was even able to interview one of them for this video. But of course, I can't start this video without talking about Joji, the most successful YouTuber to transition into a fantastic
Everybody wants to be Joji,
So
bro.
George Miller went from being the famous comedy sketch YouTuber Filthy Frank to becoming a multi-platinum artist under the name Joji. He always had an interest in music, and he would make rap songs with his friends before he even started regularly uploading YouTube videos as Filthy Frank. He had been posting skits with his friends on his YouTube channel Disaster Music in 2008. Then in October of 2009, he released his first ever song, appropriately titled Greatest Song Ever. He was also in his high school choir, and he started learning how to produce on GarageBand. Between 2009 and 2011, he took a break from posting skits, and this is when he would be in the rap group with his friends called Beats and Miso. However, not much is known about that collective, and I think it may have existed before that break, but the only footage we have of that group is from 2010.
Ridiculous, illegitimate children feeling it. It's in it from music to internet. The someone's going in it. Batman.
In 2011, he returned to YouTube and started the iconic
What was that? Batman.
Filthy Frank Show. He continued posting regularly and he began growing a massive fan base, especially because he created the Harlem Shake in 2013 and it went super viral. In 2014, he made the announcement that he was going to start uploading a little less often because of a condition he had that caused him to have seizures when he was stressed. It was also in this video that he announced his channel, Joji Vlogs, which was the first time that he used that alias. And although he deleted the channel after only making 10 videos, that would not be the last time we saw the name Joji. He created the TV Filthy Frank channel because his old channel, Disaster Music, was at risk of being deleted, and he continued uploading Filthy Frank content regularly. He also created the Pink Guy character, who he released a ton of meme music under, but none of it was really serious. By this point, Filthy Frank was becoming one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, and he was known for his over-the-top, edgy, and of course, filthy videos. He released his first couple of songs under the name Pink Omega on YouTube, then 2 more under Joji in 2015 on a secret SoundCloud account, but people quickly found out that it was him. He was planning on releasing an album under the name Joji in 2015, but it was scrapped. Joji kept posting music on his account, typically just beats and small songs with little bits of vocals here and there. However, ironically enough, Pink Guy was the most successful musician at the time. A little fun fact for you guys is that Pink Guy and Filthy Frank were featured on Anthony Fantano's meme rap album that he made under the alias Cal Chuchesta. By 2017, the Filthy Frank content was heavily focused on Pink Guy.
Hey, brown people noodles, bro. Best noodles, bro. Pause.
And Pink Guy's music, since Pink Guy released 2 albums that year. It was in albums like Pink Season that you could get a little bit of a taste of Joji's music. The Filthy Frank uploads began to slow down, and at this point Joji was signed to 88 Rising and had released a few songs on their YouTube channel. He was kind of juggling 2 music careers at once, with Pink Guy being the much more successful one. In September of 2017, George killed Filthy Frank, marking the end of the Filthy Frank era. Then shortly after he killed Filthy Frank, he released his debut EP In Tongues with great songs like Will He, Demons, and World Star Money. Will He even went platinum, so Joji came right out of the gate swinging. He showed to the world that he was much more than his SoundCloud strays and his Pink Guy meme songs. The next year, Joji released his debut album, Ballads 1, which had artists like Trippie Redd and Clams Casino.
That shit was
the album was a smash hit, with big songs like Slow Dancing in the Dark and Yeah Right. The song Slow Dancing in the Dark went 5 times platinum, which I don't think a single YouTuber has ever done before. These songs became so popular that Joji garnered a giant fan base outside of his YouTube fandom, with many fans not even knowing that he made YouTube videos. Since then, he's dropped 2 more very successful albums, and he just had another hit with the song Glimpse of Us. Joji clearly always wanted to be a musician, and he even said in an interview that he created his first channels to support his music career, which may be why the channel was called Disaster Music.
So I definitely, yeah, if the other stuff didn't work out, then I would have gone straight into Joji stuff. I was doing Joji stuff anyway, always. I just wasn't releasing it publicly at the time.
But since Filthy Frank took off, he went with it. He was getting tired of the Filthy Frank stuff, and he wanted to finally pursue his dreams, and he decided to go all in on Joji. George was very smart because throughout his entire career, he was planting little seeds of him doing music. Then he just completely broke away from Filthy Frank and went all in with Joji, and it worked out perfectly. There's plenty of people on YouTube that have covered Joji's career much more in depth than I did on this video, but this is basically the gist of it. So yeah, Joji has had one of the most bizarre but really cool music careers that I've ever seen. Speaking of bizarre careers, KSI is another YouTuber who has branched out in many different directions,
his songs are
including
crazy.
Music. KSI is a man of many faces, a YouTuber, boxer, entrepreneur, and also musician. KSI is also one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, and he's been doing it for longer than most. He started his first channel, G-Day Jr. in 2008, and he posted some FIFA videos and his first ever rap about chemistry that he made for school.
Hey.
He then made the KSI channel, and he also did a rap in Modern Warfare, which I guess would be his second song. He then started doing more FIFA videos, then did different types of gaming videos, moved on to comedy videos, and he continued doing a wide variety of different things throughout his career. In many of his videos, whether it's comedy or gaming, he would find a way to infuse himself rapping, but typically he had a little bit of humor in it. However, one thing is clear, and that's that he's always liked music. One of KSI's earliest songs that could be considered a serious one is when he featured on a song by Sway called No Sleep. He then later signed to Sway's record label called Decipher Productions. His first official rap song was Lamborghini in 2015, and it hit 30 on the UK singles charts. It wasn't a very serious song, and it wasn't really meant to be taken seriously, but it was definitely a fun song that fans enjoyed. He continued to release a few EPs and singles, but he wasn't really known for his music, and people that did know his music didn't really take it too seriously. He even said himself that music was just a hobby that he did alongside his videos. But like I said, KSI was signed to a label which allowed him to get features from artists like Waka Flocka, Stefflon Teflon Don, JME, and more. In 2017, KSI left his group called the Sidemen, and they staged this whole fake beef. They made tons of diss tracks against each other, and they used it all to promote themselves. Their diss tracks got tons of views, and they made tons of money from it. This was all during the diss track era of YouTube, which KSI obviously
that's the thing,
took
bro.
part
They were
of.
all doing fake news on each other, bro. Fake news.
KSI dissed Logan Paul, Quedeca, and more. In terms of his music, he was probably most known for his diss tracks and his less serious songs, leading people to see him more of a YouTube/funny rapper more than an actual artist. He continued putting out music from 2017 to 2019, and he even signed another record deal with RBC Records and BMG in November. They wanted to take his music to the next level and further develop his music career in the US and internationally. And I think it was after he signed to this label that his music career would be taken much more seriously.
I'm kind of now at a point where I'm able to really find my sound, make good music, and I'm happy with the music that I'm producing. And now I can just put more stuff out, put more content out, and work with people that I never thought I'd be able to work with.
He began releasing singles in preparation for his 2020 debut.
I feel like all these YouTubers want to be musicians. It's crazy, bro.
Studio album Dissimulation, which had a ton of features from artists like Offset, Trippie
Music
Redd,
is like
Lil
a
Baby.
specific type of, I don't know, it has a different type of crowd. It has a different vibe. Nothing can beat music, bro, weirdly enough.
Baby, Rick Ross, AJ Tracy, and many more. The album even debuted at number 2 on the UK charts, and eventually it was certified gold. Since he released that album, he's released his album All Over the Place, and he's had 6 songs chart in the top 5. His work under his new record label was taken much more seriously because of the increase in quality, the subject matter, and the features. Now, a lot of people, especially in the United States, don't really see KSI as a rapper, at least as far as I'm aware. They know him mostly for Prime, boxing, and YouTube, but I don't think people realize how successful KSI is in the UK. He's chart-topping, multi-platinum, and his songs are even on the radio. His numbers are up there with other popular UK rappers like Skepta and Stormzy. It also helps that he has one of the most loyal fan bases I've ever seen on the internet, a fan base that allows him to do whatever he wants and will support him no matter what he's doing. And I genuinely believe that KSI has become
He's like low-key a
solid artist.
full-time rapper as much as he's, wow.
Speaking of KSI, Quedeca is another YouTuber who created a great career for himself thanks to a boost he received after his KSI diss track. Quedeca actually kind of started his music career before YouTube since he used to play piano a lot as a kid. He then began making YouTube videos about FIFA in 2012 when he was about 11 years old. He also uploaded a bunch of videos of him singing and playing the piano, although
I was not that young when I started videos when I was like 14, I feel like 15 maybe. I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. But then I stopped for a very long time, so.
I think he's taken those down. Quedeca would rap in his videos in various different ways, like this one where he was rapping while he was commentating.
Here we go. We make our way into the first game. We pass it to Emmanuelson, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. As we cross it to Matry with a diving header. Everybody knows that we are so much better.
He would continue growing his fan base with his FIFA videos, eventually gaining tens of thousands of subscribers. Along with his FIFA videos, he would occasionally post rap-related videos like parodies or this video of him and his friends rapping at McDonald's. But 2015 is when Quedeca would release his first project called Work in Progress. He also performed for a school talent show the same year. It was clear that Quedeca had a passion for music. However, it wouldn't be the focal point of his content until around late 2017 and 2018. Up until that point, it was mostly FIFA videos with the occasional rap video, which he would use to promote the music that he was releasing on the side. Throughout 2016 and 2017, Quedeca released a couple of projects. And apart from his serious music, he would also post diss tracks and other fun raps. Then in March of 2018, he released his first ever episode of the Styles of Rap series, where he would rap in the styles of various different artists. This video, along with the rest of the series, was extremely successful, and it helped him grow his audience quite a bit. But it would be minuscule in comparison to the growth that he would receive from posting a life-changing video, and that was the KSI diss track, Insecure. He responded to a comment KSI made about him not being good, and his diss track went viral. The feud with KSI was all over the internet, and Quedeca experienced crazy growth. And honestly, to this day, I really do like that diss track. It's probably one of the best ones from the whole YouTuber diss track era. Regardless, Quedeca was blowing up because of this, and combined with his Styles of Rap series and other popular rap-related videos, he was cultivating a strong fan base. He released his album Voice Memos in 2019, and it was very successful. He even got a Genius interview for his song Quedeca was super involved in the fast rap YouTube rapper kind of section of YouTube with other artists like Crypt and Dax, and it was very popular at the time. However, Voice Memos had songs like Man on My Left Shoulder and A Dream I Can't Remember, which showed showed hints of a different style he would eventually pursue. At this point in his career, he was still both a YouTuber and a musician and was succeeding in both. Quadeca was pulling in millions of views on every video and song. However, in late 2019,
he doesn't look like a rapper though, bro. He seems more like a poet.
2020, his uploads became much more sporadic, and he would eventually take a very big break from YouTube, leading up to his next album, From Me to You, which was released in 2021. This album was super experimental and was produced almost entirely by Quadeca himself, and it was obvious that he was both evolving and transitioning as an artist. It performed very well, especially the songs Where'd You Go and Sisyphus. He even got features from artists like Guapdad 4000, IDK, and Play That Boy Zay. All super good artists. Those guys are pretty underrated. They're pretty good. I like them. Following this album,
I forget, bro, how many artists there really are that are living off this shit and aren't in the mainstream. You know, you typically always think about the mainstream artists, you know?
He released a few more YouTube videos that weren't music videos, and then he disappeared again. Apart from appearing in the occasional Hive Mind videos, he seemed to be pretty much done with YouTube in preparation for his next album, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, which was released in 2022. This was by far his best album to date. It was very experimental, fully self-produced, and beautifully crafted. It was a conceptual album that was way different from his earlier music. With this project, he was able to solidify himself as an exceptional... I'm using big ass words and I don't know how to say them. With this project, he was able to solidify himself as an exceptional artist.
That's actually kind of cool, bro. I might have to use that as a background in a comedy. Bro, that actually is kind of cool. The background that he has, a light in the middle of, bro.
Cultivate himself a strong core fan base, and he even received a 7 out of 10 from Anthony Fantano. And if you guys don't watch Anthony Fantano, that's a pretty good score. Because of how experimental and different this album was, it wasn't as viral as his previous music, but it was an opportunity for him to evolve into the extraordinary artist he is today. Following this album, he has not released any YouTube videos, and it's likely that he won't return to YouTube full time, but who knows. And personally, I love this album. I thought it was phenomenal, and I gotta say, for this video, I'm a huge Quadeca fan. I even used to make COD montages with his music.
Get up on the pills, that is not the case. How we tell them no deal, hey, no deal. I said no deal. Why pull up in a Batmobile?
But anyways, simply because of how good Quadeca's music is, I think it's safe to say that Quadeca has transitioned from a YouTuber to a successful musician. Quadeca has also been playing shows recently, like at Aries Wonderworld Fest, and Aries is another YouTuber turned successful musician. Aries has always been very into music, and he started freestyling with his friends in middle school and even tried rapping over beats on YouTube. When he was in high school, he started to learn how to produce since he had no one else around him to make music with. In 2016, he started posting music-related videos, which are now gone, but he would also post music on his channel as well. However, the videos that would start getting him some attention were his production-based videos, like his series where he would remake beats in 2 minutes. This series helped Aries garner a lot of new viewers, and he was able to send those viewers to his music. One of Aries' notable traits was how chill and reserved he was in his videos. He didn't talk too much and he was straight to the point, which would help him a lot in the future when it comes to his image.
It goes really hard, but today I'm gonna attempt to make the song go a little harder.
On his YouTube channel, Aries continued posting his production-based videos, occasionally sprinkling in uploads of his own music. And this was all in 2017, and around that time his music wasn't the greatest, at least compared to what he has out now. Personally, I think his best song from that era was You're Not Precious. That one still hits pretty hard today. Aries kept posting remixes and other types of music-related videos and improving his sound on the side. And then he released the...
See, bro, I wish I could get into like producing music, bro. I feel like it's so much effort, bro. I'm fucking lazy as hell. That's the problem. I gotta get better at not being lazy, bro. I feel like I'm just a lazy fuck.
Song Carousel in February of 2018. This song became one of his biggest songs and got a lot of his production video fans to become fans of his music. Shortly after, he released the song Sayonara, which again blew up, and to this day I believe is just barely his biggest song. Those two songs even made it to the top 10 of Spotify's charts. Following the success of these songs, he released his debut album Welcome Home. Many songs from this album blew up, like my personal favorite Bad News, which even had a cameo from Cody Ko and Noel Miller in the music video. Around this time, he stopped releasing his normal style of videos regularly and was mostly posting breakdowns to his own music. He even addressed it in a Q&A.
Where have you been on YouTube? I'm not sure if I really want to go as hard doing those like remix videos and stuff. I do love doing those remixes though. So will you do more songs made in 2 minutes videos? I don't know. I feel like I'll do that way later on, not at this moment. I don't want to really do that.
Following that Q&A, he mostly posted his own music on his YouTube channel with the occasional breakdown in Q&A, but he clearly was focusing mostly on his music, and it made sense with how successful it was. Following his Welcome Home tour and the pandemic, Aries prepared to release his next album, Believe in Me Who Believes in You. The first single was released in October of 2020, and after a few more singles, the album was released in November of 2021. It was also his first album through Columbia Records, as before he was an independent artist. The album was phenomenal and quite a different style from his last project. It may not have been as viral as his first, but it still performed very well, and by this time he clearly had created his own solid core fan base. Personally, I love this album, and I even got to see him live in Chicago, and it was a really good performance. Since the release of this album, all of his content is related to his own music, and he doesn't upload too consistently, but he is constantly touring and performing.
Bro, that's like the funnest part though, as an artist, bro. Like being at a real life show is so much more fun. I feel like it's just like right there in front of your face.
It makes sense. He even has his own festival, Wonderworld Fest, which has included artists like Breakins, Quideka, Eric DOA, Jaleel, Midwest, and many more talented artists. And again, because of his great music and reserved personalities in his earlier videos, it's safe to say that Aries is another successful YouTuber turned musician. A newer YouTuber who just started making music is Tuv, one who has been recently blowing up on YouTube. Tuv is a YouTuber who's been doing YouTube for a super long time, but like most people, he was just uploading random things. He started gaining a bigger fan base when he started making video essays and hopping on trends, and then he experienced his first taste of virality when he released his Smoking That EDP 445 pack where he got caught on April 27th of 2021. A few months later, he uploaded one of his most viral videos to date, and it would change the direction of his YouTube channel forever. The video was called Darkest TikTok Iceberg, and it is still his biggest video to date. He continued uploading morbid videos and began blowing up. After his TikTok Iceberg, he went from 76,000 subscribers in August of 2021 to 1.3 million by August of 2022. With his newfound internet fame, Tuv decided to drop his first official song, Cherry Soda, on February 24th of 2022. Following that, Tuv dropped a few more singles, and then he released his first ever album, Ear Candy, in January the following year. But what a lot of fans didn't know is that Tuv's been interested in music for a long time, and he's actually been releasing songs for quite a while. Only a couple can be found on his YouTube channel, and the rest are lost. But Tuv is actually in a much earlier stage of his music career compared to everyone else on this list, and he's accumulated a decent fan base for his music while continuing to upload his YouTube videos.
50,000, how much does that pay though, Chad, is the real question. If you're making monthly, like even $1 from everybody, or even 50 cents,
so as a newer YouTuber doing music, I figured I'd ask him a few questions on his thoughts about being a YouTuber who makes music.
So what do you think the current stigma is for YouTubers that make music? Honestly, I think we always got a bad start when it came to music. What really set YouTubers off was the Rice Gum and Logan Paul era, the Jake Paul era, like all that, because they weren't making music to actually like make beautiful concepts and sounds, right? They were literally just doing it as diss tracks and ways to get views, and it worked. I mean, I remember watching them. They were so funny. Anytime a YouTuber makes music, people are gonna assume it's like some diss track, Logan Paul. They're doing it for views. I really hope to get rid of the stigma. Not me alone, but it's just gonna take time.
Your image can be pretty important when you're a musician, so do you think that being a YouTuber affects your artist image?
No, it's always gonna be a part of my image.
I mean, bro, I feel like Joji, they don't think about it, because bro, I feel like if your music is good enough, people are not gonna give a fuck. They're just gonna love the music. I don't know
it's nothing I'm sad about. No, I love it. I mean, my YouTube means everything to me. I'm both a YouTuber and an artist. It does affect it. Like I said, there could be positives and negatives. It does always annoy me a little bit because some people just won't give it a chance at all. YouTuber, no, won't even listen to it. Or they'll like be super judgmental about it just because it's like YouTuber. It's not real music. That's always going to be disheartening, but it's something you just got to go through. But at the end of the day, I'm in my room making my YouTube videos and making my music. I'm having fun. I think that's what matters. I like it. It does affect it, I guess, but not anything crazy bad. I won't get a collab with an artist because they're like, whoa, you have a morbid YouTube channel? No.
So when you first started making music, were you hesitant or scared to drop it as a YouTuber?
Eventually I did start getting a little bit of buzz on my YouTube channel, and that's when I dropped a song called Pop Off, and that song I actually like it. I actually fucking like that song. It was a Jack Harlow What's Poppin' type beat, and I had like 10k subs, and that was my first taste of like, you're a YouTuber, stop it. I got the most horrible first impression because I used to be part of a meme page community, and they botted the video. I had left horrible hate comments that of course got to me, especially like I was so happy with
it be your own homies. It be your own homie sometime, bro. I get you. I
my
get you, bro.
product. I was so nervous to drop my first ever song, Cherry Soda, and it took like 4 months to make. It's so funny because it's such a short song, and the reception was pretty good. It's to this day my most streamed song. People liked it a lot. Of course, there's a lot of hate, but the love outdid it. I was so finally like, I finally have a song out. Finally. Yeah, I was super scared to drop the first single. I'm always scared to drop music. I'm always, it's going downhill now. Yeah, because now I know I have the music fan base, but I definitely was scared to drop Cherry Soda. But with Ear Candy, which is my first album, I guess it is my debut album. It was mixed by me and Gunner together. Yeah, but I was really nervous. I was like, this is it. Like, people can judge me for a body of work. Like, of course the fans love it. Being a YouTuber,
That's the thing with doing fucking stand-up comedy, bro. They'll judge you right then and then. They'll tell you dog shit. It's in your face. At least with music, it's online, bro. Like, because they have to listen to it while they're driving or CD. With comedy, bro, it's like right there. They're like, you are dog shit.
The fans that listen to all genres, you know? They have people listen to Kanye, listen to Breakins, NBA Youngboy, Joji, Tyler the Creator, The Weeknd, Sam Smith, you know, they listen to everything. So when they all come together to see what I just dropped, and they see that it's more hyper pop, synth pop, alternative sounds, they don't take it seriously. It's saddening, especially like seeing how harsh people judge the album, disregarding that it's my first body of work. The album review website, I forget what it's called, but like people are so harsh on it, and they're judging the album like if Drake dropped. It's a little bit saddening, and I don't know why the acknowledgement of that this is my first project isn't in a lot of people's reviews. Yeah, it's sad, especially if I worked so hard on it. Though the criticism is, I'll take it, you know? But I'm very grateful I have the fan base, the music fan base, the 50,000 monthly listeners, the people in my Discord that like it. Y'all watching this, I'm gonna release a song called Cold, and it's gonna be featuring. So I hope people take me more seriously, especially with the features. If I can get like really cool features, people know, oh, if on his song, then, you know, it has to mean something. You know, all of 2023, I'm really trying to improve my music. I mean, I'm always going to be trying to improve my music. I want to do like a single every month, and I just want to show people that I'm getting better. I'm only getting better. Ear Candy is a body of work from last year. And I released it this year in January. It makes sense. I made all of it last year. I hope to show people that I'm going to mature with my music.
A lot of the artists in this video either quit YouTube or hardly upload anymore. Is that something you see yourself doing in the future?
Never, never. I will always be a YouTuber. I will always upload. And I think that's where they mess up a lot, because you get your audience from your videos, and it's kind of just a big key to them. Be like, oh, I got all this clout, I'm doing music only.
Face Blaze?
No. Yeah, no, that's where they fail. Yeah, that's a good example. No, guys, you guys that are watching this, I'll always be a YouTuber. And though my upload schedule may be a little bit like bad, it's not because I'm just doing music. And also, I always love bringing this topic up. I can't get my emotions out in a video essay. I can do it in music though. So it's very good. It's therapeutic. I love it.
All right, so that might have answered the next question. But if you could pick one,
why does he have this picture of himself? It's crazy.
For the rest of your life, would you pick music or YouTube?
Oh my God, YouTube. It's like every kid's dream is to be a YouTuber. Oh yeah, I'd for sure pick YouTuber. I don't want people to think that I'll ever ditch them. Like, no, those are my subscribers, man. I can't do that to them.
Me and Tub talk for a bit, so I'll post the full interview on my second channel. So if you guys want to check that out, the link will be in the description. He talks a lot about his history.
AW video,
and like
Matt.
I said, Tub is in the early stages of his music career, but based on his drive, what he has out, and some unreleased songs that I
look, chat. Hey, that was a good little reaction for 2 videos. He made some 2 original content research type videos. I like that. It's hard to get motherfuckers making real life, real deal original content. It's hard. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like the vibe so far, because I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed making it for y'all, bro. Look, sometimes, once in a while, I get really, really excited for the content that I make. And I realize, you know, it's for you. So hit the like button. Hit the notifications. And of course, until next time, get some bitches on your dick.